GYTB snipers. We in the building, baby. Let's go. Crypto nerds in the lab, we dissecting the math. GYTB snipers, we respecting the path. They teach clicks and we teach thinking ahead. I see price before it move, crown heavy on my head. Snipers tie, I don't rush, I refine. Every level got a reason, every entry got a time. I don't sell dreams, I install a skill. I teach them how to walk away and still pay the bills. See, they got signals and we got structure and code. Same setup, every market, the same mode. I don't need noise and I don't need hype, cause one clean candle make a whole week right. GYTB built different. Can everybody see my screen? Let me know. All right, perfect. Let's go. All right, so we've been going over understanding the sequence of the market because that's really what we're doing. I promise you guys, really what me and Anointed is teaching you guys, truly it's not even a strategy. Like if y'all really understood what's happening, what we did was we actually took away indicators, strategies, and was like, guys, listen, break and retest, get that ass in the trade. Type of two, if you understand, it really is a break the structure, it retest the structure, and we get in. Right? And number two, we got to use proper risk management. Right? And then we use the Fibonacci tool because it helps us be able to calculate visually that retest that we're looking for. Let me know if it's making sense. All right. So if you find yourself feeling like, man, I feel like I'm doing a lot with trying to approach this trading thing, you probably are. Right? That's why we're here to simplify it as much as we can. Um, so with that being said, let's get into this. Right? The reason why I call it the quarter theory, right? When I was working in banks, I used to peep how they used to close the books and they like real even numbers. And I was thinking about when I started trading, I was like, man, it's all these different numbers. And then when I looked at the chart, I realized they actually have a built-in grid already. Right? If you notice, we removed the horizontal lines that they automatically put on the chart. So if you actually paid attention to those lines, you'll realize those are their key levels, right? We're just finessing the levels in between. So when I thought about that, I was like, you know what? The reason I notice a lot of students get stopped out or get into early is because we're following the popular areas, right? So I really want y'all to understand what the Fibonacci is, right? It's a retracement tool. So the best time to use the retracement tool is not after the market retraced. It's after we had a big expansion, right? Let me know if that makes sense, right? Just to give a quick little visual. If price is doing this and shot up, that's the time we pull out the fib, right? The expansion happened. That's when we pull out the fib. Now, what if price is already about this much? That's even a better time to pull out the fib because we know the retracement phase has started, but that's not where we're going to look to get in. But we know it has started, right? What if price is all the way already at the base? Right? The only reason why you would pull out a fib at this point is really to locate your targets to get out, right? We also want to make sure that we're able, like Cha said in the chat, to find your stop loss. Because at this point, it already did the retracement. Let me know if it makes sense. So again, the main point time we're gonna pull out this tool is after the expansion. Otherwise, this retracement tool no longer serves a purpose. It's no longer serving the purpose for you. All right. For us, we'll be using different coordinates, right? That's not typically used. But what I am doing is I'm showing you the key areas of what's popular and where the banks sit. Because the thing is, with trading, a big part of it is just knowing, hey, where are the small players versus where are the big players? Right. Unfortunately, in every system, that's always the case. There's the small parts and the bigger parts. So we want to make sure that we're using the leverage of the big areas, the big zones, the bank zones, that we're going to make sure we're over there. Right. Even though we may not have the money to technically be at that table, we're wealthy in ourselves. So we know how to finesse the table anyway. Right? You notice they always try to keep us from the best tables, but we know how to finesse it. Right? So I want us to be able to use it and actually exploit the big banks. Right? So what I did was I pulled out the typical fib. All right. When you first start trading, the fib on the left is what's already built in into TradingView. Right? They already give you the numbers they want you to focus on. Type of one if you can see it. On the left is just the standard. And we're gonna say, hey, that's where the masses be chilling at. All right. We're gonna look on the right side and be like, hey, that's where the banks be at. Right. So the strategy is gonna require you to be able to notate the trap zone. So what I did was I updated the fib for those who actually are used to using those numbers and giving you a system to better use them, right? Because those numbers are super key, but you want to use it the same way the banks use it and not the way the retail traders use it. Let me know if that makes sense, right? Because it's still very useful. That 38.2 is useful, that 50, 61.8, they're all useful, but you got to use it in a different way. So I want you to notate the red zone, right? The red zone is the trap zone. Everybody got that? When we get into that zone, we have to be very, very careful. Very, very careful when we get into that zone. Perfect. Let me see where the nerds at. Because mind you, I'm clocking the chat. I don't like people in the background. You're not allowed to let someone else answer be your answer. So we're doing serious business right now. Does it make sense so far? Let's type it one in the chat. Let's make sure everybody is still awake and tuned in. All right. Now we've been talking about this ABC, right? The ABC is just a short way to say break and retest, take the trade. That's all ABC is meaning. Break, retest, we're going to take the trade. Let me know if you understand. All right. But in order to use this concept, in order for us to really finesse the market, we have to have one ABC that has already formed, right? So for instance, this has to have happened already. It's a must. Otherwise, you will be doing a different trade. It wouldn't be this. And that's okay. There's a lot of different ways to trade, but we're talking about learning a system and then sticking to the rules. All right. Super important. So we are measuring technically the B to the C because the B to the C is what broke structure. That's why when we're trading, we can't say, hey, there's a trend because price just shot up, right? Because when it come back down, it could just switch and go the opposite direction. Type of one, if that makes sense. We have to make sure that they created a level, retested a level, and then actually broke. This would be where we broke. All right, so this would be where we broke, right? This is where we broke. So this is the expansion move that we are actually measuring, right? That's where you drag it from bottom to top. Because now we're gonna prep for when it returns and retraces. Let me know if y'all following. So that means we need at least one break of structure. One break of structure. Now, remember, typically the trap zone is at the retest zone. Type of one, if you understand. Usually the trap zone is at the retest zone. And how many people understand that the masses are all gonna be lined up right here trying to get in too early? Right? Price on this price come down, it's hitting that area. They're like, hey, we hit the 38.2, we hit the 50, we hit the 61.8, it's time to get in. And then it go up a little bit, you're excited. And then it goes right back down and starts creating a wave back to where the base or the bank zone. Type of two, if that makes sense. So we have to be careful. Have to be careful. That's the trap zone. So don't rush into the trade as soon as it gets to this area because usually the trap is going to happen first. So look at the visual. We have the expansion move and we measured 100% of that move. That's why it says 0 to 1. That stands for 0% to 100%. And that's the move we measured. Why? Because that's the move that what? It broke the structure. Let me know if it makes sense. This is the move that broke the structure, so that's what gets measured. Now, the truth be told, the bank zone is between 75% and 100%. And usually what's down here is a master candle. Now, you had to be studying how to locate your master candles. All right. If you do Japanese candles, maybe you studied the order block, right? But everybody understand this is the base, right? This is the bank zone. The bank zone likes 75% or more. But we also know sometimes they're willing to take a smaller discount because sometimes they like to entice traders that aren't patient enough to wait for the discount. So when price broke the structure and it made its way, right, back to that popular 38.2, are you going to get in the trade according to our strategy? According to the ABC, are you going to take that trade? Donnie says yes. The answer is no. Hopefully you were making a mistake. No, I don't care. We get here, it's no base here. It's no base here. We're at 38.2. We're not, this is, the base is only down here, Shawnee. This would just be maybe some little bit of structure, a little bit of support. Okay, well, no, we're talking about the first level, 38.2. No entry. What if we come straight on top of the 50%? And again, I'm not saying that these trades won't happen, but I'm saying according to the ABC rule, are we getting in that trade? Okay. We want a bigger discount. That don't mean we won't enter at the 50%, but not when it first came down. Not when it first came down, right? Now, it's coming down. It gets right here to the 61.8. Are we going to enter? Are we allowed to enter? Yes or no? No entry. Be brave. Stay strong. If you can do this and practice this discipline, you'll see your account go crazy. Now, once price actually dips in between the 61.8 and 75%, it's really time to get excited because at this point, we're near the bank zone. But once it turns around and starts to close back above, right, the 61.8, we are allowed to now enter. Type of one if it makes sense. Right? It had to come below the 61.8, turn this butt around, and then we get to enter. Right? We really love if they come into the bank zone and give us another popular area, right? 88.6. That's a good discount. They come in between this 75 and 100. We in the bank zone now. So now we get to take advantage. And when it closes above the 75%, then we get in. What if you missed that one? Well, when it closed above the 61.8, you could get in. What if you missed that one? Well, then you could get in after 50%. Now, if price comes below the 50% and doesn't make it to the bank zone or the green, but it closed back above the 50%, then you're allowed to get in the trade. Let me know if that makes sense. Then you are allowed to get in the trade. Do anybody have questions at this point? Is it clear? Say it one more time. The 61.8 part. So let's just say price made its way. Because remember, for us to not get caught in a trap, we're never going to look to enter trade unless price come in between this zone. It got to come in at least underneath 50 and 75%. Why is that? Because we want to make sure it comes deep enough so that way when they do a U-turn to finally close back above, then we have the right to get in. It come below the 61.8, close back above, then we're allowed to take it. If it come below the 38.2, close above, no, we're not taking it no matter what. You got to at least come below and then close back above. What time frame I be on? This works on every time frame, right? But you just have to pick the time frame that you're going to start with. So I would say the structure for the ABC, right? Daily, but you're going to be waiting for this setup for a while because it's the daily time frame. 4 hour is the sweet spot. So if you do a daily structure, 4 hour, 1 hour entry. Okay? 4 hour structure equals 15-minute entry. Right? 1 hour structure equals 5-minute entry. 15-minute structure for us scalpers, 1-minute entry, or sometimes 1 and 5-minute. So if you find your ABC on the daily, you should be entering on the 4 hour and 1 hour. You find your structure on the 4 hour, 15 minutes. Let me know if it makes sense. Yes, that's right, child. Correct. So what happens is when it gets to your area, you set your alert, right? You did this on the 4 hour. When it finally alert go off at your sweet spot, right? Which is basically that 50% when we want to be alerted to pay attention, right? Then it's time to go to the 15-minute and see when we get our entry. Everybody got that? So you do have a choice there. The higher the structure, the longer the wait. So usually a 4 hour structure might pay you for the week. Sometimes it move fast, but a 4 hour structure will probably pay you for the week. A 1 hour structure may pay you every 3 days. A 15-minute structure may take a day or two. Sometimes the same day. But it doesn't matter what time frame you're on, you're still gonna risk 0.5% per trade. Type of one. Y'all gonna hear that in your sleep. 0.5% per trade. 0.5% per trade. Because we're only risking 1% for the session. I don't care. 4 hour structure, daily structure, 1 minute, it doesn't matter. So let's get into it. Stop loss must always be in the base, underneath the base. I see a lot of traders out there. That's why I say, hey, for you new traders, when you guys take a trade, what you should do is take a picture of you actually in the trade so we can see where you put your stop loss at. Because we want to help you out with that stop loss. Sometimes you guys don't put it in the right place. Right? A lot of people I notice put their stop loss right here. And they're in a trade. And they're like this. It's looking good. They're feeling good. They're feeling good. And then all of a sudden they come and hit the stop loss. Because you are in top of the test zone. Type of one, if it makes sense. You have to know where your base is. How do you find base? Base is usually inside of what? Consolidation, right? We usually trap the trap. The traps are the base. You know when Anointed said, hey, the market was sleeping here. That's a strong base. They got everybody trapped, right? They got the masses trapped all in the same spot, right? So market move, they pull back, and they come down, and then they make another little trap right here. And you're like, yeah, I want to enter this. All right. And then you put your stop loss right here. You see this little piece right here, buff? You don't want your stop loss right underneath there trying to take this next trade. Type of one if it makes sense. Gotta be careful. I know they put that little base there, but if there's a gap left between, you don't want your stop loss underneath there. You don't want that. Below the base. All right. Where's our entry? Well, obviously, if we get down here, our entry would be above the base. This is where we get the super snipe. And we get the best risk to reward because our stop loss is the shortest. Right? What if you want to make sure they're ready and you say, hey, I'm gonna wait until they close above 75%. So if I close above 75%, this is my TP, my TP, my TP. This is always my final target, 25%, minus 25%. All right. What if I miss that? Well, I get my last chance to get my button to trade at 50%. You get in a little later than that, it's not really worth it. Maybe even a 38.2. But after that, you're not giving yourself much target and your stop loss still needs to be below the base. Why? Because they can retrace to any of this level. Because remember, this is the swing. This is in control. Everybody else is bait. Everybody else is bait. So your stop loss can't be nowhere in here. Let me know if it makes sense. If this is the wall, your stop loss cannot be anywhere in here. Not that there aren't trades you can't take, but it shouldn't be in there for the ABC trade. So anybody have questions at this point? Where we at? Trying to keep track of the time and go to the next part. So I put the risk too so you can see this what it looks like. So remember, there's nothing wrong with that trap zone, but we got to use it the right way. Let them come past your zone and then enter, right? So they coming down, right? They get below that 50% and they just go to turn. You could take that trade, right? They coming down, they get below 61.8 and they turn up. You could take the trade. They come down below 75%, come up. You could take the trade. We love this. Come into the bank zone and let me get that whole move. Let me know if it makes sense. It gotta come down past 50% and then it can go up. And then these are your take profits along the way. Since this is 100%, we minus 75. To get back 100, we gotta get to minus 25%. The popular area is 38.2. We're not gonna take it to there. We're gonna exit here. So when they push up with those people that's up here, it's gonna make sure it takes care of our spread. So if we sleep, We want our target to get hit. But if we put it right up here with the masses, price likes to wick where the masses are and then turn right around. So you wake up and be like, man, why my target didn't close? So we got to learn to get in after the bank show us, and we got to get out before we become liquidity. Because again, after it makes this new higher high, what happens next, guys? Came back to the base for the B. We got the C. We got our full 100% back. What do we think is going to happen next? All right. New cycle. Tracement phase. How far we think it's coming back? Well, shoot, we just gonna repeat the process. We're like, well, shoot, this is the new 0 to A now. Perfect. I know exactly where I'm allowed to look at. It gotta come back at least 50%. Give me that 61, 75, and I'm gonna get a new trade again. And this is how I compound my account, right? Profit, avoid drawdown, more profit. Let me know if it makes sense. So imagine if you continue this process, if you can win and take the small loss, this covers how many losses you think? If you can lose this, and then mind you, just 0.5%, this gonna cover at least 4 losses if you keep doing this, right? If you come to this entry, it still covers quite a bit. This entry, it still covers quite a bit. This is kind of like breaking even. If you take a lot of 50% trades, now you might find yourself breaking even a little bit, not really growing your account. Because you see, when you lose these setups and win these setups, you're kind of canceling yourself out. Let me know if that makes sense. This is why it's so important to try to be more patient with yourself and wait for that discount. Because when you wait for the discount, right, it covers those days we got to take the L, right? But if you're doing too much of this and taking that little 25% retracement, look how big your stop loss have to be if you're going to trade professionally, because it should be under a base. But sometimes, we just say, nah, we're going to put the stop loss right there and we're going to take that. And then kind of be shocked when this happens, right? Let me know if it makes sense. The RR is important in this game. We can't avoid the L's, but we can minimize the losses and maximize our wins, right? Minimize the losses and maximize the wins. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into these charts and put it together. Type a 2 if you're ready to apply what you just learned. Yeah, yeah. Everybody ready? So y'all see this, my baby Nas. I figured, you know what? Since I love Nas so much, and a lot of people sometimes get nervous with indices, right? I'm here to tell you, as long as you got proper risk management, you really can trade everything, right? So I want everybody to kind of be prepared for some of the sessions. So that way you guys can start having confidence to understand that, hey, structure is structure, right? Are you guys starting to even see the structure in the cryptos and understanding how this knowledge is going to help you in all your investing when it comes to cryptos, stocks, investing in companies, even the meme coins, right? When you understand structure, you can finesse it all. So we worked on support and resistance. We worked on the ABC and we worked on the fib. Now I want y'all to understand, I literally just told y'all the whole blueprint. Type of 7, number of completion. If you understand, I just showed you the whole blueprint. Now, all you gotta do is really take the time, apply it. Now, what I did was, for the scalpers out there, if y'all take note, I'm on a 10-minute time frame because I want to prove a point for people to understand. When it comes to structure, you need one time frame for the breaks and the retest to happen, and then you go a bit lower to enter so you can see the signal. Everybody got that? Right? So it's 10-minute time frame that I'm choosing to pick the structure on because the structure to me is sexy. I'm gonna just say that the structure to me was sexy. So I feel like I want to train your eyes on sexy charts. So when you see the sexy chart yourself, you'll know, yep, that's the one I want. And if it don't look like that, I don't want it. So this chart right now probably may scare some people like, what? This look kind of crazy, Ty, but I'm here to train your eyes to see what I see. So again, this is the 10-minute time frame. What time frame should I look for my entry on? Which take a guess. Right? 5 minute, 1 minute, pretty much. Right? So I'm not sure which part you wanted me to repeat, but Ty, sorry, I'll be going fast like a New Yorker. And I'm older and be smoking that kush, so the memory is not there. But I know these charts. I know ABC. So, you gotta ask the question a little bit faster, or at least put some details with the question. Thank goodness for being an entrepreneur. You can say what you want, do what you want, how you want. Who gonna fire me? What boss? What drug test? Get out of here. It's a little juggy jug, little pit stop. And then you're not stalking and trading. What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? All right, all right, all right, all right. Back to business. Back to serious business. Now, what's so sexy about this chart? Can we see a beautiful uptrend that turned into a downtrend at some point? Can we see the frequency? Can we see the frequency? All right, look a little ugly, but I'm gonna show y'all how to see it. Can y'all see the frequency? Yes. Yes. Now it's like, okay, Ty, but how the hell would I trade that? And I know somebody in the chat like, Ty, that little time frame is scary. I want everybody to be mindful of what they be speaking into existence. Even if it used to be scary for you, I want you to no longer say that. I want you to type in the chat, I'm nice. Type in the chat, I'm nice. Nice at this. I'm nice. I'm nice. I'll keep going when I see enough. I'm nice. I'm nice. I'm nice. Nice at this. What you talking about? Touch the shoulders off. What? First of all, I'm a GYCB sniper. Second of all, I'm a crypto nerd. Of course I'm nice. Like, who gonna tell us anything? All right? Be nice at this. So it don't matter what time frame we're gonna find our structure on. We're gonna have faith that we understand it's ABC. 1, 2, 3. We're gonna keep it simple. So the first thing we must do on this structure is find the key levels. So in an uptrend, right? In this uptrend, it went up. So that means I must find all the higher highs that happened on this uptrend. That's the first step. So I'm gonna come in here, just gonna start from the very bottom. I'm gonna find my last lower high and my last lower low because I want to see when the shift first happened. So if I look at all the way down here, let's see where our traders are. Let's see where we at. And I'll even help a little bit. I'll cheat a little bit. So I'm gonna go here for y'all. Circle this whole piece. Can y'all find where the last lower high is? Let me see it on the chat. Where is the last lower high? That was a big ass circle. All right. Perfect. Perfect. Good job. Y'all should drop some fire in the chat for yourselves. Chai, I think we might have to ban you from like the wrist, the little pencil. Like every session, my guy. I love you, best friend, but best friend. Like what we happened then? All right. So boom. We got the lower high. Right here. Lower high. Actually, before we go forward, hold on 1 second. Let me give y'all this. So what I did, since we done collab with the nerds, I wanted to show y'all, I changed the color to the fib for the 50%, and we turned it to white. Sometimes, to bridge the gap, so y'all don't have to feel like you're learning something totally new, right? So GYTB snipers, our 50% will be white, type of one, if you made that note, right? To get y'all to see what I see, if you're gonna use the quarter theory, what I want y'all to do is remember 75%, count the green. That's where we really want the discount at. So that's why that's green. And it's also typically close to the earth. So it was an alignment already that the 75% was the green, right? 1.2 is red. So your butt can remember that is where your stop loss belongs. All right. So no matter where we're entering, 100% 75.50. Stop loss is what? 1.2. That's why we really want a better discount. Everybody got that? But 50% is not bad because we still would get at least 1-to-1. But it's not our favorite. It's not the best. Okay? Type of 2 if you're here with me. Blue, that's that take profit color. We in profit, deep profit. It's time to run out with the bag. It's time to go. We want to make sure we do not become liquidity when they want to retrace again. So we're going to just get out. You can get out at any target. That's another thing. You are not obligated because sometimes that don't mean we're going to get every target. So again, if you're getting at the 75 or below, right, your TP1 is 50%, TP2, 25, 0, last target, TP4, get out of there. Everybody got it? We all set to go back to the charts now? All right. One more thing. It's the ABC. So first we got the uptrend we're going to finesse first. So with that being said, we have the ABC. We have rules. When we're doing that internal structure, we're going to put a little line that go a little bit past where structure broke. Because we're already going to have the key levels. So we don't need to draw more lines across the screen. We're just going to use the line for the ABC structure. So we're not going to take this one and drag it all the way to the future, just a little bit past. Basically, we're trying to give it like a retest level. So since that's where price broke at, I'm going to put a little eyeball there and say, hey, this is the first place we can look to take the trade. But we have to understand, if we take a trade there, that's called taking an SNR trade, which is a support and resistance trade, which is typically around the 50%. Type of one, if you understand. And when we take that trade, we handle that trade a little bit differently. When we take this trade, we handle that a little differently. But right now, our focus is understanding we're looking for the deeper trade because we want to take that trade 80% more than we take this trade. So in order to find that other spot, we're going to pull out the fib. We're going to measure from B to C. And for the first part, I'm actually going to use the trap fib because I want y'all to see how the trap works as well, right? Because another thing is sometimes if you don't really know what I'm talking about, it'll be hard. And we're going to change the 50% to white as well. So remember, between 38, 61 is the trap, but we do get this 50% SNR trade. But right now, we want price to do what? Come lower. Hey, come here. Come here. Now, when we're marking up the actual candles, we will be locating our base, which is the master candle, and then we're going to put an eyeball inside of that. Everybody got it? So we're going to notate when price does give us a 50% trade, but we're not going to prep it. We're going to note, yeah, that gave us a nice SNR trade. But we're going to see how many times can we get the trade that comes here or here. Everybody got that? We're going to make note of the 50% trade, but we need to back test and see how many times will we have gotten the trade we should have waited for. The one that's going to really set us up for success for when we win big and to keep our losses very small to the same piece of structure. Type of 7, if it's making sense. So anybody have questions at this point? Nope. All right, cool. So we're gonna go do the first step. So I already notated that this was the last lower high. So this is a 10-minute time frame. I'm actually gonna mark it properly so you can remember what time frame the structure was on. So this is 10-minute. How about that? I'll just label it 10-minute structure for the time for the class tonight. All right, we got 10-minute structure. And that's it right, Yana. That's why we're gonna learn how to do it tonight together. You got this. And that's why you're learning and you've been tuned in. So we're gonna just take care of every higher high. Right? Every higher high, we're gonna notate it. We're not gonna think hard. What we're doing is cloning every higher high. I'm not gonna put anything here because this was the highest. I'm gonna keep going. Right? I'm gonna keep going. So this is kind of had some little gaps right here came out, but I'm just put it to kind of where we first stalled out right here. I'll leave that little sweep alone, especially since I see it's lining up so perfectly right here. To me, I'm just gonna leave it to the first part. All right, keep going. Actually, let me just clone it. Save time. Everybody see what I'm doing, right? Because it's an uptrend. I'm just going up. That's all I'm doing. Not complicating it. We're just gonna keep going up. Clone. Next higher high. Clone. We're just gonna keep going until I can't go no more. Right? Because right now I'm showing you how to back test so that when it happens in the real markets, you'll start trusting it a little bit more. Put it in your demo, right? When you're learning something new, put it in your demo. So look like, I think we made it to the top. Nope, a little bit more. Where we at? Everybody over here. So we do got these couple of like little spots right here. I'm just gonna add it because when I put it, I could kind of see this right here. So I feel like it's significant enough. Let's go to this one. See where we at. All right, that's the end. So let's refresh. Now we're gonna come here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna now apply what I taught you and see if it works. Because when somebody teach you something, this is what you have to do. You have to be like, all right, Todd told me my first job is I need to, in the uptrend, I should put all my higher highs. I should then also open this horizontal ray, go into the text settings, right? Type in 10-minute, and I'll show you how I actually do it. 10-minute SNR level, right? And then I go to the template, I go to save as, And I don't never really do this on a 10-minute, but today I'm doing it because the structure was sexy on that time frame. So, all right. So now, whenever I pull this out and I go to this, you see the little text box. Every time you use one of your tools, right? The text box, the little short tool pops up. This has all my templates in it. So now all I gotta do is click on 10-minute SNR level and it puts it there for me without me having to type it every single time. Right? I also suggest putting it at the bottom at the right. I think for the downtrend, I put it above, but whatever side, doesn't really matter, right? Bottom or top, just wherever it looks more comfortable for you to see it, right? Click save as. You got to type that in. Everybody got that? So now it stays on the side. So no matter what time frame you go to, right, it will be on the edge. So then when I go to look for my entry in the 1 minute, I'll be able to see those key levels. And you see how in the 1 minute, these look like 4-hour ABCs. All right, I get to finesse this 10-minute structure by looking at entries on the 1 minute. Everybody got that? Just for the concept. So let's go over here. And now we're going to apply the system. Basically, this is how you back test and figure out how does this stuff really work. So we're going to start from the bottom to find our what? The base. Where's the first base? So the first base is where the last master candle is on the bottom. Yes and yes. Can we agree? First base, and we're gonna drag it out to the future a bit. We know that this was the last lower high. This was the last lower low. All right, I even could put this little structure here to show where we continued to break lower. We were still in that downtrend. Everything was looking like a sell. Maybe you're waiting for price to come here to take another sell. And then it failed to go lower. And the very next move was the first time we broke a key level. Remember, key level. So whenever it's a key level, we're going to leave it in red. We crossed the key level. Everybody got that? So now price said, hey, it's a higher high. And now we have the change of character. And now we have a new higher low. And we only have a new higher low because we have a new higher high. So now we have two jobs. Hey, she says we're only allowed to take a trade if it come back to the S&R level, but for this, we're not looking for that. It has to be at least 50% or 75% of the base. I know that this is the base, so I would need price to come back there. I'm allowed to take a trade there. So since I have a new higher low, let me find the last red candle before price pushed up. My next base. So at this point, this base got taken over. Now, before price retrace back, right? Let's just say it got to about right here. We can say that the retracement phase has started because for one, we're back underneath the lower high, right? We're back inside. So now we could pull out our fib from the new low to the new high. And now we're going to use that to locate where were the places we were allowed to let her take the trade. Well, she said the 50%, but she said not on the way down. Right, it's not on the way down. So let me put it just right here on the outside so we can remember. Right, where's the other spot we can put it? 75%, 61.8 when they come back up. So we did good. Price broke structure, changed character. So we should be like, oh, snap, look, they changed. We should get ready for the buy. All right, boom, they came down. Danger zone, don't get in the trade. Danger zone, don't get in the trade. Look at all the craziness that happened in the trap zone when they first got there. Can you see it? It's madness. These wicks and all of this, the 1 minute probably look insane. But we're not concerned about that anyway, because the rule says, hey, you got to come underneath and close back above for me to get in anyway. And if I was really, really looking for the main trade, I'm not doing nothing until you come back to this 75%. Is it sexy that the 75 is by the base? Let me know if it makes sense. But on the way back up, though, these areas become valid. Yes, man. That first base is gone. And now we focus on a new base to come back to. All right. Go to 1 minute. Bar entry. You know what? Just to save time, because you can wait on your same time frame. You just won't have a sexy of an entry, but we're gonna just stay here for training purposes to go faster. Because going back like that's gonna take forever. But let's just say now price is below. Do we get a master candle down in this area? Right? It trapped this buy. The sellers came lower. Boom. We got the doji. We put the trap. We watching the trap. We need price to do what? Close outside this trap. So we don't know where it's gonna close, but it's like, hey, we could get a real tight close right there. That'd be great. But if they close above the 61.8, we getting in. If they close above the 50%, we getting in. We don't want to get in really no higher. So if we look, they gave us that 61.8 entry, right? Basically above the 75%. So once this candle closed outside the trap, was this your signal candle? Who's been studying? Who knows which one is the master? MC, the doji. This is the signal. When that candle closed, we now getting in
Order filled
on this entry. Hey, cash me out, yo. This is our entry candle. When this one closed, we're getting in here. Where are we getting out? Where are we getting out at? When we got in at this close, right? We're gonna make sure as we go up, we're gonna protect the trade, but we're gonna get the hell out at this minus 25%. They gave us that little extra at that 38.2, but we out of there already. We gone. That trade is finito. It's over. And guess what? How long that took? 30 minutes. 2,943 pips. So that's how y'all be seeing me do that. Damn, she did another 2,000, 4,000. Right, easy. It's one move. One move. And we get out. All right, cool. So in this case, we can see that this was an ABC trade, right? Broke the structure. Come back to base. It gave us the whole move. Yes and yes. Right? Now, where's the new breaker structure? Here's the new breaker structure. All right, boom. It broke structure. It broke the last high. We know it because we see it right here. So what does it says? It says, hey, and come back and retest these levels, we can look to take the trade. But for the ABC trade, we want a deeper discount. But did they come back after they broke and retest a key level? This is a trade we're going to learn to take, but we manage it a bit different. We don't use the FIB for this one. We're going to do that on another class. All right, guys? So let's take this off. Take this off. But I'm going to show you how to still back test it anyway. Since it broke structure, We're gonna grab the fib. We're gonna go from the low, drag it up to the high, and see. It retraced where to the 38.2, right? It retraced to those two areas that we're gonna learn how to take those S&R trades when they break and retest the key level. But right now, I want to train you on, hey, wait for the better trade. Everybody got that? Because it's gonna keep showing up. The better trade is. But this trade says, oh, it doesn't qualify. It doesn't qualify because did it come to the 50%? It came to SNR, but did it at least come past the 50%? Did it come below the 61.8? Did it come to the new base? No. So that wouldn't have been your trade if you stick to the rules. But when you add the extra arsenal to your, trading skills, then you will be able to. But we're going to keep continuing because we did get a new higher high. So that means the new swing is from where at this point? Where's the new swing? Show me on the chart. Who broke the new structure? Hopefully you can say, hey, it's the new swing because we broke the last higher high. Do everybody agree? It's the new higher high. So what we gonna do? Did it start retracing? Did the seller start taking back over? Right? We're not gonna put a master candle up there because we're looking to keep breaking these highs. We're only gonna focus on the master candles at the bases. Right? It's not a true master candle, but it's the last red candle before the push up to make the new higher high. So now, rinse and repeat. Okay, yes, we broke the last high. Yep, Anna. Just the 10-minute. We don't want to get confused. Only the 10-minute matters. 1 minute is just for the entries. So when price would have got down here, we probably would have got a nice entry on the 1 minute. That was probably even better than this entry, right? Probably a little bit closer. Got it? So since we got a new swing, a new breaker structure, do we pull out the fib now? EOS. Every time you get a new breaker structure, you're like, let me find the base. All right, let's get to work again. Let's see what they're giving us now. All right. Where are we allowed to look for trades? 50% and SNR. This time, the SNR structure lines up perfectly with the 50%, but when it first comes down, we do not want to get caught in the danger zone. Remember, we got to wait for them to do what? Turn back up first. We got it? And guess what, Anna? That's not a strategy. It's just breaking retests. And us waiting for a discount. And guess what, Anna? It works on every pair, every time frame, every structure. Nobody can defy a break and retest. Type of 7 if that make you excited. It's work on everything. Works on everything. Because guess what? Structure is structure. A break is a break. A retest is a retest. Right? So put it on the edge so you can remember. Hey, don't take it as soon as it come down. Don't take it. We gotta wait till it cross back over. Because again, when people say, hey, Ty, does that work on GU? Hey, Ty, does that work on US 30? I say, it's structure, structure. Is a break, a break. Is a retest, is a retest. Is an uptrend, a uptrend. Is a downtrend, a downtrend. Is consolidation, consolidation. It's proper risk, proper risk. I'll tell you what don't work when you over leverage, when you over trade, when you trade with FOMO. Type of 1 if it makes sense. So, where can we wait for the next trade? 50% here, preferably at the base. All right, what did price do? Did exactly what we wanted this time. This time it did what we wanted. Came down. We're not getting in. We're not getting in. We're gonna wait. Boom. They gave us a master candle. Finally, Doji's master. We ready. Now this time, this candle on the 10-minute close so big. May not have gotten a chance to even get in this trade because look where it closed. Too high. Type of one, if you see, like unfortunately, it closed too high. This is another reason why you do go to a lower time frame. So I'm gonna just actually replay for a second and see if the 1 minute gave us the entry. Let's see if it gave us the entry. But sometimes you won't even get it. All we know is we need price to close above this box. We need price to close above this red key level. Yes and yes. The 1 minute said no as well. Some days you don't get it. And that's when you can't be mad. You're just like, man, that sucked. That was such a perfect setup too. All right. Now let's go a little bit further back and show you how we really got the setup though. That's where we get that snipe. Right? Imagine if it hit 75% right here. But look at this 1 minute setup. It's so sexy. Like, did we close above the 75% or no? Look at it. Y'all see it? Can we take that entry? We in there? Where's the stop loss belong? The 1.2? And where we supposed to get out at? 25%? Which is this blue line right here. Giving us that 2 to 1. This would make us 1%. Go back to the 10 minute. So y'all see we getting a wick entry. You can't see it on the 10 minute, but we saw it on the 1 minute. I always say your structured time frame wicks are candles on your lower time frame. Type of one, if you see it, we getting in on a wick entry, but the 1 minute told us the truth. So that's the only way we'd have made to enter this trade. It's the only way it would have worked out for us. And what's our goal? To go break the week high, right? We got a new high. We're trying to break that week high. The base was strong. Hold on. Let's come back. Because guess what they did? Did they give us another chance to get in this trade? If you was patient, did you get another chance? Did they come back to the SNR level? Came right back. You missed the trade, or there was your chance. 50%, 1.2. Gonna get out at the minus 25%. All right. Now, if you'd have entered from back here, it would have took a while. It took 2 days to get there. It's a 10-minute structure. So when people be like, Ty, how long will it take? Like, I don't know. All I know is what the target is. Let the money work. Don't worry about it. You gotta check it so much. Check it every 4 hours. Maybe check it every 8 hours. I don't know. I wish I was that nice. Like if I could be like, okay, it's gonna move at this exact time, and you need to get out at this exact time. Hey, Tyler, you know we're gonna call out the trade? Absolutely not. When people tell you they can tell you exactly when it's gonna happen, they lying. Like how the hell we know? We don't know. We do not know. How am I? Like guys, I'm not that good. I'm not that good. I'll be a trillionaire. Not that good. I just got started too, y'all. Believe it or not, I'm just getting started. So now we gotta wait until they break a new high. When did they break a new high? right? They didn't break it here. They didn't break it here. We got a nice retest, but they broke it here, right? Boom, broke it. Is there a base down here? Yes, it's a base, right? Is this candle enough? Maybe a base. It's a kind of a pivot here. But if this is the high we just broke, then that's the first place we can look, right? Hey, put my eyeball there. That's what we just broke. I gotta be patient. Price gotta at least come there. All right. Hey, can you come back to the base? All right, well, let's put the fib to make sure we're not missing nothing. See how things align up. All right, well, they say the 50% is right here on the SNR level. That's not bad. Because we're allowed to take that. It ain't like the best setup. And then we have the 75% at this base. And then the lowest base at the last structure. So this one is kind of, didn't really give us what we want. We might have found the entry on the 1 minute. But it's not fully what we wanted. Everybody see that? But it still was a great trade because it's this 50% wick. But you still need something to show you that it's okay to enter. And if we wait on this time frame, we didn't get the signal until all the way at the 25%. So we're not really getting the best discount. You know what I'm saying? Like this is not really, because I mean we're gonna put our stop where somewhere here. No, it gotta be underneath the base. So 25% exit, like can it possibly give you more? Maybe. Does it make sense on why everything is not the setup? Yes, ideally we want it below the 50. So did they break structure again? They did. We broke. This the level they broke. Did they retest it? Are we allowed to look at the retest level? Yes, but is that the ABC trade in this case? No. So we would have to trade this different. So if I pull out the fib, what was it supposed to do? Well, the eye level is only at 25%. That's not deep enough. So even though it's the SNR level, it's not deep enough, right? Hey, come below this 50%. Come down here. This time, the base is literally on this level and the 75%. But we didn't get it, right? We need to eat properly. So keep going. Then we get a new break, right? So we can already see that 0 to A to B wasn't the trade we wanted. Up, down, not the trade we wanted. It's not enough. Well, what about this break? Is this break going to be good enough? You know, it's kind of looking better. Like it's more of the gap we need, right? A nice breakaway. Where am I allowed to wait for? 50%, 75. Where's the base? Once again, at the structure. But this time we got something we could probably possibly work with when it came underneath here, right? It came kind of wick below the 50%. Wouldn't be mad at this entry necessarily. It's not the best one. Price did come better below, hit the SNR right on that 50%, but then it finally closed above. Let me zoom in. So now I got trained eyes, so let me make sure y'all can see it. Right? 50%. Nice signal right above the 50%. We in this trade. We in there. And where we getting out? Minus 25%. Hit it once. Second entry, second time. Broke the structure. Did we get another break of a new structure? Are we just rinsing and repeating the same thing? Oh, break. Okay, cool. So it broke this level, so I needed to retest the structure. Let me put my eyeball there and remind myself, I'm not gonna get in unless they come here. All right, but let's measure where the bank zone is, right? From the low to the high. You're like, oh, that's kind of nice. The 50% is above. It's a little high. Here's the structure. And then we got the 75%. And this space kind of got mitigated. And I got this big old area right on the 75%. So I'm gonna go and see that we finally get that touch we had to be patient for. If you waited, did you get it? If you waited, did you get it? So somebody gonna ask, well, Todd, look at this nice trade. I know, I saw it. So I don't care. Who cares? Who cares? You see it. But what did it say? What did we say? Is this for us? Yeah, it was beautiful. But was it for you? Does it qualify? I'm gonna put the stop loss right there. Right? Now you would have got out, that'd have been a great trade. But you know what I would tell you? You got lucky. I'm gonna tell you, you got lucky. That's not smart money moves. You got lucky, you gambled. You just turned something that can really change your life and you made it a gamble. Turned it into gambling. We don't care. It's not ours. What was ours? SNR level, base, yes and yes. Even if you didn't have the fib, it needed to come back here. Now, this kept going up. So, does that mean I should drag the fib all the way up like that since it never retraced to the base? Which I think is this an entire move? Yes. Yes. It'll all start to make sense. And then that move, we're like, hey, when you come back to this 50%, you're gonna be careful. We're not gonna get in as soon as you hit. Right? As soon as it got here, it didn't really close above, but this would have been a setup. Somebody would have got in early, they sick. Then it dropped some more. Now everybody that loved the 61.8, they jumping in. You're gonna be like, no, I'm a GYTB sniper. I'm a crypto nerd. I do not rush as soon as it gets back down to the face. I must see it turn around. And if I really want the best setup, I will wait for the 75% discount. I will wait to come back to the base if I really want to finesse these markets. Because then when they do that nice OU turn back on up, right? Boom, entry down here, 75%, entry here, entry here. You'd have dealt with some drawdown. It's okay, because your stop loss is down here, safe, chilling, chilling, it's chilling. And we wouldn't even be mad. We missed that. We'd be like, whatever, because you know what? I see all the traders lined up, and I'm like, oh, they gonna be sick, especially if they put their little stop loss right underneath, because they're like, hey, this is support. Look at it, it's support. It touched. They told me if it touched 5, 6, 7 times, then it's support. Oh, but it ain't the base. Oh, but it ain't the base. Type of 3 if it makes sense. Oh, but it's not the base. You just finesse me, yo. Why you finesse me like that? Why you did that? That wasn't right. But now we know the truth. We like, nah, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna be patient. I'm gonna be patient. I'm gonna be patient and wait for this setup. And then I see my harmonic pattern forming. It's probably like, what that you drew? I don't know. I saw it went, about that 38.6. And if it come back and make it equal low, it's my back pattern. And I know it's gonna go up. But it's nothing really but a break and retest, right? It's so many patterns, but really, it's just the ABC. I promise you. When you break it all down, 0 to A, A to B, B to C. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm gonna say it over. They have to align. They're good, but after it comes under, when it comes at the 50%, it's no good unless it closes back above. You allowed to take it, right? But you're gonna have a bigger stop loss, unfortunately. And your RR won't be the same, but it's still valid, right? Because you have options. If you want to get a little even deeper, you wait to get under the 61.8. And then when it goes up, you can take that. Now your risk is not as big, your reward is a little bit better. But if you want to be like me, you're gonna wait to come all the way to the base, to 75%, so we can have a little bit of stop loss. And then we're gonna take the trade up. So trader's choice. The more patient you are, the better you're gonna be. So I'm sorry there's some confusion there. But that's why if you really want to really do it, just even ignore the 50%. Act like I never said that. Act like I never said the 61.8 and say, you know what? Ta says the best number one RR setup is when you wait to the base. Let me know if it makes sense. Just wait to the base. If you feel confused, take the best trade. Wait for it to come back to the base. If you can't wait for the base, at least wait for the 75%. I hope that made more sense. I hope that made more sense. If not, don't worry. Keep coming to class. It will all start to make sense. So, did we get that 25% exit? Whether you entered 75, 61, 50, did you get your 25%? We out of there. It's done. That trade is over. It's over. Did we break this high? Did we get another break? Yes, another break. So, once again, we drag the fib. It must come at least to the 50%. And that time, the 50 is also by the SNR. Did it come to 61.8? Did it come to the 75 of previous SNR? Yes. The 1 minute probably would have gave us an entry. And we're looking to exit this 25%. Literally, just over and over. Just over and over. So it came past the 50 like we want. Then it gave you another chance. Came back underneath the 50, clipped the 61.8, hit the retest at the key structure. When it closed back above that 50%, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but can you see now is the time the 50% makes sense? Boom. You see who closed above the 50%? You see it? You see it close back above right there? And then not only that, what are they doing? Taking over the seller's open. So if you know where the seller's open, and you see we just closed against 1, 2, 3 that was in charge. Then we closing against number 4. Got it? Perfect. Right? Now where we gonna go to? We still trying to get to what? That, 25%. Did we get there? Did they give it to us? Took a little while, but did we get it? We got it. So and they be like, Ty, how come you still be holding to that 25%? Well, if you back tested this 1,000 gazillion times and you see that, hey, they always get a little bit past the 25%. I want to, you know, I don't want to be in a trade forever. I like to scout too. So actually, let me do this. So I want y'all to see something. And then we're gonna end the call here. So this was the last higher high. Let me use the rectangle. This was the last higher low. Excuse me. It's hating on the ending of this call, y'all. But this was the last higher low. This was the last higher high. So when will the structures tell me we ready for a downtrend? We have to close below this. It's gonna do a lot of stuff before that, but it must close below this last higher low for me to say, hey, Nas is no longer in the uptrend, is in a downtrend. It has to close below that. Can we point out when price let us know that they want to go into a downtrend? So this way, y'all seen probably for like 5 days we was in buys on this 10-minute time frame. 10-minute time frame, but we was in buys for 5 days. But we need to know when it's time to stop looking for those ABCs for buys. Type a 7 if you agree in the chat that that is the change in character spot. And what do we say about changing character spots? If you can spot them, you're going to be in for a great week because that means you're going to be able to be at the beginning. So this actually might be a period, if you can catch yourself, to probably hold for a bit, right? We got our daily ABCs, but then there's sometimes we need to hold, right? This is the power of understanding, hey, we got trades that can pay us in seconds. We got trades that can pay us in minutes. We got trades that can pay us every day. We have trades that can pay us every couple days. We have trades that can pay us weekly, bi-weekly, every third of the month, once a month, every 6 months, once a year. Type of one, if you understand, you can have all of that with day trading. I want it all too. I'm with you. Like, I'm ready to start having trades where it's like, man, I put down, a $500 lot and I found a monthly signal. And then, I just be able to close it in 3 weeks when the candle about to close. Let me know if it makes sense. That's goals. So now, switch just happened, right? I like to paint those pictures in your head because the bigger you can dream, oh, the things that can manifest into your life. I never used to have those kind of thoughts, and that was just what, 5, 6 years ago. Like, what? I was trying to figure out where the next job was. So we see they broke the last low, right? They broke it. So when price come back up, it can either come back to hit that area. But what we want, we like, hey, we need that 50 to 75%. So let's map this swing out. And then we got the base up here. Now this time, they gave us a super sexy discount. Now, look at the 50%. It's a 50%. Came back here. There's really no signal to take the trade down, right? But it pushed up to 61.8 and then it closed below the 50%. Is this a trade you can take? Was this allowed? Yes or no? Let's see if it's sinking in. Could we have taken it straight when it closed? Look at that nice close. Is this valid? Did we do the right thing? Hey, let it come past and frequency change and cut back below. Yes, it did. Right? We didn't get all the targets, which is 25%, but this was a nice trade. Now it came and took you out and went above the 75%, past the 61.8, and then let it close back below to get us back in this trade. Because it's ready. And then we get that 25%. Right? Did you catch this entry? 1.2. Did you catch this one? Did you catch it when it closed below 61.8? Did you catch it when it closed below the 50%? They went a little bit past like we expected. Could have probably been took it structure to structure and went past as expected, and we are out this trade. It gave you a mini ABC, right? When you start getting nicer, you'll see it like, oh snap, that's a sexy one. Look at it. Hey, it broke. Did it come back to that 50%? Give me another chance. This a fib inside of a fib. Oh my goodness. I'm showing y'all extra sauce. Hey yo, listen. That's crazy. How many pips was that? 5,106 pips, 2 hours. A fib within a fib. Talk to me nicely. Hey, it's insane, y'all. All right, now we got this internal structure, and this will be my last one for real. This was the new lows. We're not gonna add more lines because we already got these enough, right? So if I look though, this last support still a key level, and it's lining up right with the 10-minute. This level from way back there, from the last uptrend. So we know it's a key level. So what do they do? Boom, big break. Hey, you gotta come at least here. And if it's at least 50%, then that's sexy. Oh man. They go that 50%, y'all. So this is the best trade because we get the ABC to 50% and the SNR. Do y'all see it? Then we get the signal. Where are we taking this trade to? Oh, the 25%. We're gonna get out. Get out of there. Let me get out of there. Did they do it again? Oh, look at the ABCs. Oh my goodness. Did they do it again? This time they gave us that 75% sexiness though. Even if you took the entry here, it came up, came down. Right? Stop loss over here. We're gonna look to take it to 25%. And it's just a little bit shy. But it did hit the other key level. Can y'all see it? We took nothing but ABCs on the way up. The ones that didn't fly, let it fly. We got the ABCs coming down. That's it. And really, what is ABC again? Break, come back, continue. Break, come back, continue. Break, come back, continue. Until they finally mollywop us and say, psych your mic, we changing character. Okay, you can have that. You deserve that broker. You deserve that one. I just milked you for so many. You deserve it. You deserve to get one of them, you know. All right, y'all. That's it.